Still got the tall screen on at the minute. We'll put the carbon screen on in a couple of weeks when it gets a bit warmer, a bit drier. But it's all still pretty nice, pretty good nick. It's only done, what, a couple of 1,000 miles I think now. Exhaust still sounding great on it. That's looking weird, that light on the left. Oh no, this must have been the angle. Yeah, but there we are. Right. Hello and welcome along to another little videoette from the old MotoGoYo. It's been forever since I've been out on the motorbike, and it's kind of been winter, and it's been that bit of a spell after winter. This is the very first time I've had the bike out in a long time. I polished it yesterday and I thought, let's just have a bit of a run up for a coffee up into the hills and just take it all nice and steady and sort of run the bike back in a little bit. Just done the tyre pressures, got those right. Done the, hang on, let me just turn the heated grips off because they seem to be still on from last time. Yeah, just did all the chain cleaning and sort of chain maintenance yesterday. Checked lights and levels, checked tyre pressures, did all the usual things. Just pumped up the tyres because they were a bit low to the right pressure, and it is immediately started up first time. I've had it on a battery tender all the way through winter, but it is already absolutely brilliant. I'm really glad that I made the effort to come out, because more recently I have been just chilling out, playing games, playing a bit of Grand Theft Auto 5 mainly on my Xbox, and as you know I have streamed a little bit of that on the channel, and I know for most of you it probably is of no interest whatsoever, so I'm probably not aiming to do a lot of that. I just it's a kind of a thing that I'm experimenting with, and one of the reasons I'm experimenting with streaming in general is not just to restrict it to gaming, but actually to think about other opportunities to do other things, maybe even doing some kind of live stream regular show about motorbiking is something I thought about, you know, where I would have me presenting something along the lines of lots of different content being created by others who would come along and do their bits in the show, and maybe it'd include a motor vlog or two from a guest vlogger, and maybe it would include some test rides of motorbikes, a little bit like an internet TV show, I suppose, all about motorbikes. I'm sure that other people do similar things, but I thought, why not have a think about that? So that's, oh, road's a bit weird there. Yeah, so just thinking about sort of having a bit of a play around with that is one option. That could be a direction I go in with the old streaming thing. Not entirely decided yet. Just remembering what the sound of the exhaust is like on this. I don't know if you can really hear it through the helmet, but it sounds fantastic. Yeah, so that was one of the directions I might take the whole streaming thing in, is possibly in the direction of the motorbiking stuff. May do it for other things too. Just haven't really 100% decided. The brakes are a little bit numb on it at the minute for some reason. I'm guessing just need to be rebedded in after the winter, cleaned off the surface. So just take it nice and steady, just apply them a little bit here and there just to test them out. But the suspension on the bike is, as it has always been, absolutely bloody fantastic. It just immediately from getting on it and feeling it ride, you just get this sense of perfect comfort and handling and everything. It is fantastic, this bike. Really do like it. It is a big bike, but once you're up and about on the roads with this, it is incredibly nimble. You can really throw it around corners, really lean it in nicely, just let it go around as it wants, looking where you're going, pulling it round, gently powering it through, and away it goes. It really does want to ride this bike. So anyway, that's what I've been doing a lot of recently, just getting streaming stuff all set up. And as with everything in life, you can spend a bloody fortune on setting up the streaming gear, because you start off with the thought that, well, you know, with an Xbox you can do some streaming, which is absolutely true. And probably if you're like 20 years old and you fit into the category of a typical streamer and you've got some interesting stuff to talk about, then just jumping on your Xbox, playing a game that everybody wants to watch, and streaming is probably all you have to do. But when you get a little bit older and you probably don't fit the demographic as much, streaming gaming is not quite that straightforward. So, and of course for me as well as that, I always like to do a little bit more with everything. I always like to try and get everything as good as it can be, and so I bought a new PC, bought some sound gear, mixer board, sound processor, new microphone stand, all sorts of shit that I just have now pieced together, and I'll just stick in a little bit of video of that here so you can see it. That just helps to make the quality of everything that little bit nicer, a little bit better. Streaming quality isn't all jittery and numb, but it's actually quite nice. So, first day back out on the bike, seems to be performing absolutely brilliantly well. The ride on it is just truly amazing, it really is. Brilliant little thing that it is. It goes exactly where you want it to, very precise. Wonderful little thing. Anyway, so where am I headed? Well, it is a Sunday afternoon and it's quite late on, 6:47, so we've got about, what, another hour of light, that's all. And so I thought, well, today I was kind of sitting there thinking, do I go out on the bike, don't I? It's not looking sunny, and I kind of missed yesterday when it was looking sunny. Should have gone out on it yesterday, really. But the temperature is now falling as well, so I don't want to be out too long because I've not got that many garments on, and I don't want to freeze my off. So my plan is just to go up to the Starbucks, grab a coffee, have a bit of a bite to eat, and then when I've done that, head back home. Basically just the usual little local runabouts, and then at least I've been out on the bike a tiny bit and given it a bit of a run, blown some of the dust off it, some of the cobwebs off it. And talking of dust and cobwebs, I actually, this year, because much of what I did was I brought all my helmets inside because I didn't want them to get damaged. I've had a couple of pairs of gloves that have got damp and gone mouldy, and they're knackered pretty much when that happens. So I thought, well, I'll bring all my helmets indoors so they don't get damaged, don't get mouldy, don't get wet. And I did that, but the one I just pulled off the shelf this morning, because I actually had them on the very top of my wardrobe, and it was absolutely covered in dust. It's one of the well, I suppose it's a consequence of being in any house, but when you've got a dog, with all of the dust that they create, yeah, it was thick with dust, so I had to give it a bit of a wipe over. And then I said to myself, well, I'll give it a clean when I get out to the garage before I get on it, and then I locked the garage door before I did, so I just had to quickly wipe it over by hand. And it'll do, it'll be right. It's amazing though how some of this dust will absolutely cling on no matter how fast you go on the bike. You kind of think, I used to think to myself, well, I just run out on the bike and it'll give it, you know, blow all the dog hairs off my biker gear, it'll blow the dust off anything. And you get to the other end and it's all still there, and you think, oh, right, okay. So it is just brilliant to be back out on the bike, having a little bit of a fun ride, seeing what's going on outdoors. Apart from all of the time I spent going to work recently, it's been mainly time spent messing around with computers and gadgets, and as I say, more recently trying to set up all of this streaming stuff, as you do, you know, just to distract yourself from the realities of life. So anyway, for you guys watching, I don't know, these days, apart from the odd person who comments, who still watches my channel, but hope you're all doing well, and be interested to know what you guys are up to, for the bikers amongst you anyway, what you're up to this year. It's pretty much now the start of the biking season, so there'll be plenty of days available with hopefully hot sunny weather like we had last year to get out and about on the bike. Shouldn't be long now before we start seeing regular reasonable temperatures, I'm guessing in the next 3 or 4 weeks, as we start to come out of April. The minute it's still one of those kind of, you're not really sure about the temps, because, you know, one minute it's sort of 12 degrees, some days 14, and the next day it's like 3 to 6 degrees. At the minute it's saying on here that it's 8 degrees on the little thermometer on the bike, and I've not got anything heated on whatsoever. I thought, well, it's just a short trip. I mean, I'm actually wearing the heated jacket, but I haven't brought the connection cable with me or the heated gloves, so that was kind of half pointless. But because I haven't ridden the bike for such a long time, you know, when you ride the bike regularly, you get into a nice routine. You know where you've put everything, you know where your gloves are, you know where your neck tubes are, you know where your helmets are, your earplugs, and everything is all in the right place. Well, I've been moving so many things around in my house recently as part of a bit of a spring clean. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't even find, for about 10 or 15 minutes, my bloody tank bag, which is quite a big thing, and I'd ended up storing it away in a cupboard somewhere that I'd completely forgotten about doing. So yeah, how are you guys doing? What have you been up to? What are you going to get up to in 2019 throughout the biking season? Are you going to do anything special? I'm hoping this year to test ride maybe 2 or 3 bikes. As I say, I might have a go at doing something along the lines of a bit of a live stream show. I haven't yet decided how far I'm going to go with that. Probably do some more streaming stuff, but I'll do that on a separate channel. If anybody is interested, ain't going to see me streaming the odd gaming bits and pieces here and there, then you can follow me on Mixer, which you can just go to just search Mixer, just go to Google and search Mixer Microsoft, and it will take you to a website which is a kind of a streaming channel mainly for games. I am also looking at Twitch and YouTube as well on a separate channel, but for now, if you want to go and follow me and see what I get up to in that world, then by all means feel free to go over and follow me on Mixer. Still the same name, MotoGoYo, on there as well, and maybe I'll see you across there. It'd be very kind of you if you did. Well, I'll leave it here for just a minute or two, and then I'll come back to you just as I'm getting a little bit nearer to Starbucks. Well, here we are, almost at Starbucks, going past a couple of things. Might get some fish and chips from this fish and chip shop just up around this corner on my way back. Why not? Get the old fish and chips, take them on for the dog as well. May as well sort of just about sorting out my diet again. Making sure I have lots of fatty food, who cares. Getting out of winter, getting into summer. I think we'll have the heated grips on though on the way back. So this is the fish and chip shop, not a bad little place there, Kingfisher. If you're in the area, I'm sure you know it already. So we go sit down for a bit, have a coffee and a bit of a chill out round the corner here over at Starbucks. 24 hours, top end of Wakefield. Just about a 20-minute run or so for me from my house. A few nice roads to get here, so it's all good stuff. Condition of this road looks a bit dodgy now. My mirrors could do with a bit of a clean actually, they're looking a bit greasy. Not ideal. Right then, here we go, off into Starbucks's. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you again soon, hopefully for another video. In the meantime, bye bye for now.